Hello everyone, welcome to my Flosstube number 36. This is Rosanna, Bright and Dusty, and this is a channel all about cross stitch. And I had to film a little a separate clip for something in a future video. Right before this, I was having all kinds of weird tech problems. For some reason, my speaker was being or my recording was being really crackly. So I don't know what was going on. I had the fan on. I'm wondering if that was causing some kind of interference. And then I just restarted my phone. And I think that that has resolved the issue at this point. Fingers crossed. Because I had to film that little, and thankfully I did that first. And I was able to immediately figure out that something was wrong. Because that little clip was only like 3 minutes. So thankfully I didn't film an entire 45-minute video and then just have to do it again. Because that probably just wouldn't happen. But anyway, I think we're good to go. I do think this video might be a little more on the shorter side than some of my others. But I'm just going to dive right into it. I have a couple of FFOs here. I'll start with the smaller one. And actually, this is a SAF. It's a start and a finish. You've never seen this one before, unless you follow me on Instagram. But here it is. So I whipped up this little pillow. And I think it turned out amazing. If you're curious, this chart was from a kit. The brand is called Hillfolk. I had found this kit at Walmart a really long time ago. I think it was last fall. They still might have them. I'm not sure. But it will be worth checking out their craft section. So I had it laying around for a while, and then I finally stitched it. And as you can see, I picked a different Aida that I already had. The Aida in the kit was really stiff. So I picked a softer Aida, but I did use all of the kit floss, and that worked out fine. But yeah, isn't that just a pretty little celestial design? And yeah, this is an 18 count Aida, if you're curious. This trim, I found it at Dollar Tree. They had several colors of this yarn that looks just like a chenille trim. And I think it coordinates beautifully with the mushrooms. So that is my first FFO. I filled this with polyfill. And I'm out of space on my pillow shelf. And I have like the pillow annex over here. So this might have to go in the pillow annex. But I have a lot of pillows. I really enjoy making pillows. I think they're not too hard, and then they're just kind of fun to have laying around the place. My second FFO is a little bit bigger, and this was a class from the Midsummer Stitch taught by Jandy Dean, where we learned how to make a journal cover. So here is my fully finished journal cover. The chart I used is called Winter Cove. The designer is By the Bay Needle Art. And I use an 18 count Heather Aida from Fiber on a Whim. You can see the back of the journal here. It's all the same fabric. I suppose if you wanted to, you could have cut it up into pieces and used a quilting cotton for part of it to kind of conserve your stitching fabric. But I like the look of it all being one solid color. So that's what I did. On the inside, I did add some journals. They're just really slim journals, but they're the correct size, and you could put up to 4 in here. And I got those from Walmart. And this was a really, really fun class. I'm so glad I decided to take it. And I have a couple of other, I don't have any more of the plastic inserts from Hoopla, Modern Hoopla, because everyone in the class was using those. But now that I know the technique for fitting a flexible journal insert into the fabric, I have a couple of other things that would work for that. So I am thinking of making more, because I think they're really cute. I just put some snowflake charms on the spine here. And yeah, I love this design. I moved things around very slightly up here. I was afraid the moon was going to be too close to the top, so I moved it down just by maybe 3 or 4 rows. It really wasn't anything drastic, but if you're taking a look at the chart and you're like, that looks wrong, that's why. Okay, and that is the end of my fully finished objects. I do have one more finish. It is not a cross stitch, it is actually a punch needle. So I will show that briefly. I know not everyone is interested, but here is my very first punch needle embroidery. There's a side view. You can see how it is up off the fabric. This is made up of tiny loops that you achieve by using the punch needle combined with weaver's cloth. If you want any more information, I did a whole video about my experience stitching this exact piece from the beginning until the end. I mean, I don't show you, like, I'm not stitching the whole thing while you're watching the video or anything like that. I'm just kind of explaining the mechanics of how I kind of made this happen as a brand new punch needler. I don't know what the word is. Like, I'm just gonna call it punch needler. It's my alter ego now, I guess. But this design is from the fall 2020 issue of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, and the design is by Teresa Kogut. And I think that's probably all the information you need. I am going to finish this into something. I think it's pretty typical to attach these to like a board backing and kind of fold it over and glue it. Like a flat finish, I think is what I'm trying to say. I think that's pretty typical for this type of thing. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, but that is what I'm planning to do. And this so got me into the mood for fall stitching. I mean, this morning in upstate New York, it was so nice. We woke up at, I don't know, 6:45, and it was like 60 degrees outside. It felt so good to have the windows open and have that cool air coming in. And then, of course, by 11 a.m. it was like 80 again. But I think I got a taste of fall with this, and now I'm really looking forward to some more fall stitching. And I am going to do more punch needle. If you're curious, I really enjoyed making that, so I'm gonna do another one. I just haven't picked out my exact design yet. All right, I think that concludes my finishes. Let me get into whips. So for Christmas in July, I pulled out Christmas Cat by Satsuma Street. Here is what the finished piece looks like. And then here is a photo of the last time you saw it, which I don't know when that was. It was probably, it might have been 2025, but honestly, it might have been 2024. I'm not 100% sure. But here is where I got to. Let's pull off some of those magnets. I don't know if this will look better with a board, maybe. So I did a lot down here in this blue color, and then these presents over here, I filled in a little bit more of the cat and his tail and stuff. So this is coming along. In Pattern Keeper, I am at 55%. And I kind of just want to keep going. I'm doing this 2/1 tent stitch on a 28 count Monaco. I'm wondering, did I actually show this in my last video? Because now I'm second guessing myself. I was like, oh, you haven't seen this since 2024. That might be a total lie. If so, I apologize. But I think it's looking really cool. He's gonna be tiny, 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 tiny because of the 2/1 tent stitch. And my inclination is to frame it because I think it looks cool with just the tiny, super tiny stitches. I don't have another piece like that is this far along. And I've never finished one that's like that. So I'm thinking I want to frame him. Because originally I was like, well, he's going to be so small, I could do an ornament. But I'm like, I don't want to just turn him into an ornament, like, or he might get lost or banged up or something. I think I want to frame him. But this is such a cute design. Yeah, if you're curious, that piece total has 8,344 stitches. So it's not tiny, but mine's going faster because I'm just doing the half stitch. All right, now I'll get to everybody's fan favorite. It is the TV dinner. Here's what it looks like finished. And then here is where you saw it last time. This is a design by Perfidious Beadworks on Etsy. Here's where I got. So you can probably tell I have made pretty good progress filling out the other 2/3. Because in my mind, I've kind of divided this up into thirds, and the drumsticks was 1/3, and then the green beans is another third, and the potatoes is another third. And I did make some good progress kind of getting those other parts started. And I had to rechart this, and I'm using it in Cross Stitch Saga, and I am at 70% complete. So if I had to venture a guess, I think next time this is probably going to be finished, because once I get to a point like this where I can see the end is in sight, then I get really committed to it. And I kind of think this one will be done within the next month. I hope so. I want to see it finished. And this is one of your all favorites. I got a lot of comments on one of the videos that were all about the TV dinner, so. And to be honest with you, it's just one of my favorites to stitch. I have been stitching it in hand, and it's a full coverage. I have discovered that I really like doing small full coverage. This piece has about 5,100 stitches, so that's not very big. But something about just, because I can use the app and I can stitch in hand, which means it's very portable. And sometimes if I'm tired, I don't want to get out my stand. I just want to stitch in hand. And those are times when I will just pull this out and just go for broke. You know, I might get like 200 stitches done towards the end of the evening just because I'm enjoying it so much. So my plan moving forward is always, I think I'm always going to have a small full coverage that I can stitch in hand like that. Okay, my only other whip, because I have a couple new starts as well that I worked a lot on. My only other whip is actually a needlepoint. It's called Santa and Toys Stocking. Sorry, I'm reading backwards again. So this is a Dimensions needlepoint. And I wasn't really planning to pull this out, but what happened, and I do not have a before picture for this. My start was actually very small, so you wouldn't really notice much of a difference anyway, but I have, you can see some of the blue and some of the snowflakes is done. Then I got bored of that and I started to do the red. So I'm just kind of jumping around, but I decided to pull this out because Hobby House Needleworks is doing a 1-day needlepoint retreat. It is in Pittsford, New York. And I think there's still space available if you live in this area. But it's on August 22nd. And I just happened to be on their website and saw it advertised there. And I was like, well, that sounds like a great deal. A 1-day retreat for $75. They provide you lunch. And like a little goodie bag and stuff. And I was like, well, that actually sounds very appealing to me. Just a very low stakes, low stress, 1-day thing. So I signed up for it, and I'm going to take this needlepoint. This is my only needlepoint currently. My very first one. So yeah. It's looking all right. I am not using stretcher bars, and I know that that's probably going to end up in a little bit of warping. Honestly, I don't care that much. I'm more doing this as like a learning experience, and to be honest with you, I don't want to be carrying around giant stretcher bars. I don't want to be stitching with like a big frame like that. And if I keep it loose, I can just use the sewing method. So that's what I'm doing. And I know that a lot of needle pointers are like, no, no, no. It's gonna look all wonky. But that's okay. I'm not really concerned about it. So that will be a fun new experience. I'll get to meet some needlepoint people. That is a very different world from what I am used to, but I am excited. Now I'll get into a couple new starts. So the Gathering Thread Stitch Retreat is coming up. That is in Ottawa, Canada. The featured designer this year is Nora Corbett, and I decided I was going to do a new start for that. And I can show you what it looks like. This is the Golden Lake Swan. It is one of Nora Corbett's Patreon designs. Yeah, as a side note, I discovered in my library you can print out in color for like 40 cents a sheet. So that's going to come in handy. I don't always need a color photo of the cover, but occasionally it is nice to have. All I have is a black and white printer. But anyway, this is one of her Patreon charts. It was $15, and you don't have to be a paid member to buy the charts, because I'm not a paid member of Nora Corbett's Patreon. I am a free member, but then the charts have a buy it now button. So I was able to just purchase this for $15. I will say the chart has hand-drawn symbols. It hasn't been digitized. And if that's something that would bother you, you should be aware of that. Let me see if I can show like just a little. Yeah, so they're hand-drawn. But anyway, I was delighted to buy that chart. And here, I'll get rid of some of these magnets. They're a little unsightly. Here's what I got started. So obviously I've gotten a lot done on this. I wanted to outline it as much as I could so that at the retreat I could just be doing fill-in at least part of the time. I'm going to bring a couple other projects as well, but this is ready for some serious fill-in, and hopefully I can get that done while I'm there. And I made that little needle minder out of a pendant I had lying around. It's a swan. I don't know if you can tell. So, matches perfectly. This is a 28 Lugana. I had it in my stash. I don't know what the color is. And as I've been stitching it, I was like, well, maybe I should have picked something with some more contrast. But it's too late now, and I actually like the way it looks. She looks like a swan on a stormy day. So I'm looking forward to see how this turns out. This has a bunch of beads in it. Pretty typical for Nora Corbett. And Nora Corbett did a design for the retreat, which the organizer just showed us, and it's a mermaid. It's beautiful. I think I'll probably be starting that at some point as well. But okay, I got the Golden Lake Swan started. This new start, this is also a part of my haul, I guess. But this is a Dimensions Gold Petite. It's called Cabin View. I had so many alerts set for this kit. I had every possible permutation of like how this could be described, so that I would get an email if anybody put it up for sale. And eventually it did happen. And yeah, this was like my #1 unicorn. I became pretty fixated on this kit after I stitched the Bicycle Afternoon, which was also a Dimensions Gold Petite, because I want them I want them on the wall together. I want them to be companions. So finally, I found it. And now I can stop searching. Like, that's almost better than finding it itself, is that you don't have to look for it anymore. But clearly this is an out of print dimensions kit. So where I have been working is this door and the bucket and stuff. And I didn't get very far. And it's not because I'm not excited about it, it's because I wanted to get that swan outlined. But after the retreat is over and I get back into kind of my regular schedule, this is going to become a priority. So but it's not bad. For a new start, that's not bad. I'm stitching it on an 18 count Aida. I'm not using the kit materials. And yeah, so I guess there's not much to see, but hopefully in September, I'm gonna have a lot more to show on that. To me, this seems very end of summer, early fall. So this is the right time of year for that. And then my other only start I have here is a small. It is pumpkin pie, which is a Mill Hill. So I'm thrilled I was able to get this started. Here's another one of those needle minders I made. Isn't that perfect? And then I guess this is another piece of haul I just wanted to bring up quickly. These frames, they're magnetic. So you can put your Mill Hill paper in between. And if you're curious, the name of the shop on Etsy is PNB Making Memories. I will put that down in the description box. I love this frame. I also got the, oh wait, I did bring it out. I got the one that's a little bigger for the, you know, the bigger Mill Hill kits. Yeah, and these are just like really nice quality. There, I'll show you it opened. There's all the little magnets. And it's been working great so far. And they have lots of different designs they can laser cut for you onto the wood. I had just seen these ones in the reviews, and then in the little field where it asks what design you want, I was like, well, just, you know, do that hummingbird one. And then this one's a stitching one. But they have several different options. And I thought the price on those was very reasonable. I was really excited. I found this flamingo bag that is the perfect size for these little Mill Hills and for my little frame. How cool is that? And that was, I believe, the end of my new starts. Before I do Save the Stitch, let me go over the giveaway really fast. So last time I was giving away this Dimensions kit. The winner is Dana Simmons 8597. If that is you, email me brightanddusty@gmail.com with your name and your mailing address. I will also put that email in the description box. And then the other giveaway was for Lindy Stitches. This pattern with the lace bunnies. The winner of this is Warrior S. So once again, go ahead and email me. I will get these out to you ASAP. All right, now why don't I do Save the Stitch? I'm gonna pause for a second and be right back. All right, let's do Save the Stitch, and then I have a small bit of haul. My first Save the Stitch you saw last time, but now I have turned it into a pillow. This is one I had found loose. Well, technically I found it in a frame when I was in Colorado, and then I brought it home unframed. And now I have turned it into this very pretty pillow. So it's a letter B with a black bear down here. On the back, I had some nice coordinating fabric. There is a bear. So I thought that worked out really well. And I am considering this my souvenir from my vacation to Colorado earlier this summer. And this will also be joining the moon pillow and the pillow annex. I'm looking at it over there. The pillows are taking over. All right, the next two, I'm saying they're kind of medium sized, although they are kind of big actually. These ones go together. Here's the first one. It is a green Victorian house, and we know how much I love those from, well, you can't see it right now, the spring house. So this says the Abbey, Cape May, New Jersey, and then the stitcher has signed it, and I think that's the year 94. Yeah, this looks great. And I found this locally. It's kind of like a flea market / farmer's market. And yeah, I found this one, and I found the one that matches with it. So let me show that one. Yeah, the amount of backstitch on these is kind of unreal. Yeah, especially this one. Wow. So this says Gurney Street, Victorian House, Cape May, New Jersey. And this one is marked 96. So they stitched this one a couple years after the other one. And here's a closer view. Yeah, what I'm talking about, all this backstitch around here. This house has a lot of negative space. All this Ada right here is exposed. The gray part is filled in, and then this is empty. It's a cool design. I had done an image search of both of these And it was the sort of thing where there were very similar things popping up, but nothing that was exactly the same. So I don't really know the story on these. They look a lot like those Debbie Patrick houses, but I don't believe these are. If anyone knows, let me know. I could try to hold them up together. I don't know how well that's gonna work. So there they are. And I've had these for a while. I'm not sure if I'm gonna hang them up or if I'm gonna maybe make them into something else. I like them in the frames, but I've explained before I am kind of running out of wall space. So we'll see. But they do match perfectly. The frames are the same. They are not framed under glass. All right, now we have what I'm calling the big one, because it's in a really big frame. I showed this on Instagram a few weeks ago. This is a design by Black Swan Designs, and it's called The Jester's Dance. So I guess a trigger warning if you have like a really strong phobia of clowns. This is a very tastefully done jester, so hopefully no one would be put off by it, but I just want to say that. I know some people really don't like clowns. But there she is. Isn't she spectacular? I'm sorry for all those reflections, but it's just because the glass is so big. And this was stitched on a linen. This beautiful, like, dark purple linen. I don't know if that's maybe what the called for fabric was or something. Apparently this chart is pretty hard to find. And I have a lot of Black Swan Designs charts, but I do not have this one. Yeah, those reflections are really terrible today. But anyway, yeah, they've got the comedy, tragedy masks up in both corners. And then this outfit is just outstanding. The stitching on this is gorgeous. The stitcher had actually glued on a plaque down here. It says Jester's Dance, and then it has their initials, and it has the year May 2000, which I imagine was probably shortly after this chart came out. I love it so much. I gotta figure out what to do with this corner of the frame. I tried to just kind of like lock it back in place, but it's not really working. Because I want to hang this up, but I can't with the corner like that. So that was the Jester's Dance. And the same day I found that, I found another jester. It's also very large. It's a different style, but it's obviously the same stitcher. I'm gonna save that one till next time, just because it's pretty big. That one's also beautiful. And okay, my final save the stitch. This one's not framed or anything. I was actually gonna include this in my haul, but it is a stitched thing, so I'll do it and save the stitch. So it's from a Dimension. It is a Dimensions kit piece, Pleasures of Winter. I picked this up on eBay. The pictures of it in the listing were terrible. Like, you could barely even tell what it was. And I'm not the sort of person, I guess it's just because I do a lot of online shopping. I don't really want to like interface with the seller and be like, send me more pictures. You know, I just never do that. So I was kind of examining the photos. Well, I think there might have only been like two, like one of the cover and then one of this, like folded up. Or no, maybe two. I think there were two because I could like see it at two angles. And I was like, that looks like it's done. And I could tell that the backstitch wasn't done. The photo was clear enough that I could tell that. But the price was really good. And I was like, that looks like it is almost finished. So I took a chance and I ended up being right. It is almost done except for the backstitch. So I haven't started this project yet, but I will be finishing the backstitch on this so that I can frame it and hang it up at Christmas. And I am determined to do that. It's not just gonna sit around in a box. I am actually going to do that. And just a little bit at a time. But it's so beautiful. I want to hang this up. So I have to put in the time to get that backstitch done. So one of my many adventures on eBay. Like, someone needs to take my laptop away from me. Andrew. Falling down on the job. And that concludes Save the Stitch for today. I only have a little bit of haul I'm going to show. I think it's all like thrifted stuff. So why don't I just do that quick? If you don't want to see haul, you're not going to miss anything. So I was at Goodwill a couple weeks ago. I found a couple charts by Tellin Emblem. And I was not familiar with this designer. This design is called Leaves of Love. Yeah, Leaves of Love, and it's number 104. And then in the package there was another one. This one is called Birdie and Glory's Grosbeak, number 107. So I'm thinking I'm going to stitch this one. I might do them both. I'm going to start with this one. So that was cool. Another day I was at Goodwill and I happened to find a pack of 3 Santas. So there's the Plymouth Santa by Mill Hill. And these were all brand new. This one's called the Frosty Santa. And this one is called the Allegheny Santa. This one's my favorite. So those will be fun now that I have my magnetic frame. Here is another unicorn chart that I finally found on eBay once again. This is from Fanta Cat Designs. I had an alert for this. It's a mermaid with a bunch of books. and a dragon, and I have never seen a mermaid with books before, and I really want to stitch this. I think when I do it, I'm gonna remove the dragonfly. I don't know, I don't really like it. It just seems odd to me that there's this giant dragonfly on top of her head. So I'm thinking I might take that part out. But otherwise, I think it's really cool. So the title of that chart is "And Other Things," and then you can see it on here, Fanta Cat Designs. And then this last thing, this is a series of kits I found that some people I think would find interesting to look at. So these were from the DMC Corporation. Originally, these were intended for needlepoint. However, I found them kitted with DMC and then converted from the tapestry wool. So the conversion's already in there, and the DMC is already in there for, I think I found 4 of these, and three of them were fully kitted. So I kind of have my pick. This one is the 1920s. I love that with the greyhound. And then here we have the Victorian 1900. I'm not as into this one. This one's the 1910 parasol. This one I really like. This is the only one that didn't come with the thread. This one's 1930 flapper. How can you not love that? It's so cool. Yeah, weirdly, that one didn't have the thread. It still had the conversion key, so I could kit it myself very easily. But then it also had part of it done. So this was the 1930. So it's weird that this is the only one that had been started, and that's the only one that didn't have the thread with it. But I think if I were going to do it, I would probably just start it again anyway. But yeah, these were just really fun, wacky things to find out and about. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that is all I brought out for haul to show. I wanted to get this video done because I have a busy couple of weeks coming up here. And I know I'll probably find some new things if I'm lucky. And I just didn't want everything to be piling up for like another 3 weeks while I'm off doing other things. So I'm happy I was able to get this done today. I'm happy that the technology appears to be working now. And I hope you enjoyed spending time with me today. My next video is going to be after the chaos of the next like 3 weeks is over. So I'll see you then. Bye.